Peace everyone. I'm here again to talk about healing and disease in general, because that's the biggest concern of people today, and from the aspect of faith, obviously. I'm not going to talk from the aspect of your scientific understanding of what disease is and what healing is and what causes disease. You understand whatever you want to. I will understand what I want to, and what I see from the clarity of what the books of God show me. And it's not what you understand, obviously, unless you understand the books of God. And few of us have any understanding of the unseen. I do. I claim that. And it cannot be proven or disproven, because you have no understanding of the unseen except what you understand of the unseen from your research and your education and how you see things. And most of what you understand of the unseen is based on what you see in front of your eyes, which is mostly farce and delusion and hallucinations and self-delusion and manipulation and hypocrisy. That's what you guys based your understanding on. And I used to as well. I'm not going to say I've been in the privy of what's going on in the unseen all my life. Not at all. It's taken around 15 to 20 years to destroy the programming and the education, quote unquote, that I had growing up. And now it seems to be completely broken. I can't believe anything these people say. There's no way I can believe anything these people say except what aligns exactly with the books of God, and that's the only thing I will believe, no more than that. So let's go to disease and healing. I mean, why do we get sick? Because obviously God wants it, right? I mean, if you have faith, you have to understand it doesn't happen because God doesn't want it to happen, or will it to happen, or lets it happen. And one of those things have to occur for it to happen. And in today's world, our disease is what we feed our mind, and thus our souls and our hearts. And that's what you see and learn. And then the other is what you've put into your body. I mean, as simple as that. I mean, many people will say this, and few will understand it, that it's what you feed your mind and then what you ingest into your body. So what are you feeding your mind? The box in front of you, most of you, of course, including this box that you're listening to me on, a rectangle or a box, whatever you want to call it. And that affects your whole being. Whether you accept it or not, it has no meaning. It affects your being. It affects your signature. Your aura, whatever you want to call it, your electromagnetic field around you is affected by what you ingest into your mind, and thus into your heart and your soul and your chest. And then all your expulsion of that is how you feel, how you act, how you react, and what makes you trigger in one direction or another. This is simple. The other aspect, obviously, is what you eat and ingest into your body. And now we have these syringes all around us that are injecting God knows what into our bodies, directly into our bloodstream and our muscles and nerves, and nobody really has an understanding of what is going on, except they tell you that it's going to heal you and it's going to protect you, and I don't believe that at all. I think the healing comes from God, obviously, as far as I'm concerned, and if you have any faith, you will know the healing comes from God. So what do we eat? Garbage. So we ingest garbage into our minds through our eyes and ears and our bodies, and then we ingest the food that is absolute garbage, nonsense, that we eat every day. It's made up garbage. It's nothing more than manure. Actually, manure would be better than what we eat, actually. That's a joke. So what are we eating? What they're telling you to eat. Don't eat this, eat that. Fat is good, fat is bad. Egg is good, egg is bad. Milk is good, milk is bad. I mean, what the hell? What's good, what's bad? What they tell you. That's all you believe, yeah. Every soul has to figure out what's good for herself. Every soul has to understand what she can eat into her body and which will be good or bad for her. And that's a lifelong process. And you keep changing as you grow old, and you figure it out for yourself and how much you need to eat. There's no magic wand for every soul that every soul will eat exactly the same and act exactly the same as a result of eating what they eat. That's not the way it works in any way, shape or form. So we eat all these modified foods, all these like the drinks they give you, Coke and Pepsi, and all the other super drinks that you drink filled with toxic sugar, made out of toxic processes. If you look into it, you'll find out. I mean, there's many people doing research on this. I don't need to. I just know it. I'm not going to eat what they tell me. I'm going to eat what I know to be pure. Find out what that is for yourself, you know. The water we drink is toxic. And then the air we breathe isn't getting much better either, yeah. It's pretty bad. If you look out there and what's going on with the air that we breathe, it's all polluted in ways that we cannot see. Just because the air is clear to see does not mean it's okay to breathe it and nothing will happen to you. Of course, we have to breathe. I mean, you can't stop breathing. So, you know, again, you purify your surrounding, the air surrounding you as much as you can. So these are the things that make us sick, you know, and what these viruses are, what these bacteria are, why do they act the way they do? I don't know. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I mean, if you look a little into the research on what's going on, we are filled with bacteria all the time. We are filled with these so-called viruses which no one can pinpoint as to what they actually are. We're filled with them. They're all part of our system, part of our guts, part of our skins, part of our epidermis, all this stuff. It's all there. I mean, go look into it. It's all there. I mean, doctors will tell you, yeah, I mean, like, you know, half your body is bacteria and fungal and whatever this virus is, yeah, all the time. It's a balance. When it gets out of balance, then you feel the effects of the disease. And the out of balance is your mind and your soul. Your mind and soul is out of balance. Your heart and soul, your mind, everything is out of balance. That's your body becomes out of balance. The body can take a lot of toxins and nothing will happen to it in normal circumstances. If you have faith and you rely on God, then most nothing will ever affect you except when death comes to you. You will die and sickness will come to you. I mean, God hasn't promised anyone that they're not going to get sick and they're not going to die. They're going to die, and most of us are going to get sick. So deal with it. You know, that's part of this life. And being afraid of that while you pretend to have faith is quite anomalous, quite contradictory. I mean, if you have faith, then you know you're going to die. If you have faith and you know these books, you know shortage is going to come to you, and pain is going to come to you, and problems and evil is going to come to you, as well as good. I mean, it doesn't just, God doesn't promise just good and just evil. He promises both will come to you to try you, especially when you pretend to believe. When you pretend to believe, that's when these things get magnified, because that damn Satan is sitting there. I got to attack this guy before he gets too far out, and with me it's too far gone. He can't come at me anymore. This is not going to happen. And the reason that is because I'm exclusive to God. He has no power over the servants of God that are exclusive to God, and obviously God chooses that. We choose to be that. And when God chooses us to be exclusive, then that damn Satan, that piece of shit garbage, has no power over us. He can go to hell. I mean, he is in hell. I mean, there's no problem there. Yeah, I mean, that's a given thing, that he's in hell. He ain't coming out. So let's look at in the book, the Quran. I mean, the Torah and the Bible told us the same things, but I don't know how much of that is actually there. But the thing that cleanses us in the seen, then I'll talk about the unseen a little bit. The thing that cleanses us the most in the seen is honey. The pure and simple honey made by bees all over the earth. And let's see what God says to the bee. And inspires your Lord to the bee. That. So this is in chapter 16, verse 68. You can check it out. Of the Quran. Take from the mountains homes, and from the trees, and from what they enthrone. Then eat from all the fruits, but slither paths of your Lord humbly. So he inspires all the bees this, yeah? And guess what they do? Your own scientists tell you 30% of all pollination is a result of bees. This is your own scientist. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't push it back. It could be half. I don't know. But the bee is critical to our ecosystem, our livelihood on this earth. And God inspires us to the bee. It comes out from their stomachs, a drink, different its colors, in it cleansing to the mankind. Surely in that to be a sign to people, they're thinking. So you think about it. If you get the sign, you'll understand that the honey that comes from the bee is a cleanser to you in your physical form, obviously. This is not telling you about your state of mental being or your faith. This is particularly pointing to our bodies. The manifestation that we have in this earth as humans in these forms, this element cleanses us the most. I don't care what anybody else tells you or proposes or proves or give evidence of or against this honey. I couldn't care less. Okay? The honey is the absolute cleanser to mankind in our physical forms. And God has stated that. Now in the Quran you will find nothing else for our cleansing in the seen, from our seen environment, to be more than what God has put for this honey. And it's the raw, crude honey directly from the comb. No interference, no processing, no harmonizing, no pasteurizing, no destroying it into an absolutely inert element that can do nothing to you. It's the true honey from the bee, from the freaking honey bee comb, the honeycomb. From there, eat it, drink it, whatever. It's a fluid, it's drink it. You can drink it. People say you eat honey. I think you drink it. You can't eat honey. Yeah, it's fluid. You don't eat fluid, you drink it. Yeah. People are crazy in the head when they think not at all. So that's your answer. Find the honey, all sorts of honeys from everywhere, from all the flowers on the earth, and the bee that creates that honey for you by the command of the Lord of that bee and all the bees. Eat that honey, drink that honey, whatever you want to call it. I drink it. So that is what's going to cleanse you all your life. Now, if you don't believe this, then obviously nothing's going to cleanse you. The faith has to be there. If you don't believe it's going to cleanse you, if you don't believe something is going to heal you or do good to you, it will most likely never do good to you. And if you believe on the other side something is not going to do evil to you, then most likely will not do evil to you, even if it's evil to you. So you have to believe. You have to push away things with faith. It comes from faith. That's the fundamental reaction that is given, equal and opposite reaction of that stupid fool, Newton. That's how it works. So that's fundamentally it. Honey. Focus on honey and then purify your food around you. Purify the water you drink. Take out the toxins. Take out all the elements that they put into it. Purify it, The best water to drink is the water coming down from the streams or the air, but they've polluted everything. So whatever's coming to you now, not everything, most everything, you have to purify it. So find out how to purify your water. There are many distillation systems and filtration systems you can find. Go look it up yourself. It's all available online for anyone who wants to do it. Then they give you this fluoride to brush your teeth. It's toxic. It's a poison. You're poisoning your mouth every day. You use fluoride to brush your teeth in your toothpaste. Then the water supply, it has fluoride in it and tell you it's good for you. No, it isn't. The fluoride is toxic. It's going to harm you. There's no good out of it. So get rid of that. The filtration system will get rid of most of that. But the toothpaste, you got to change it. You got to find some other way to clean your teeth and your mouth. That shit ain't good for sure. Get rid of that. So now let's go to the unseen. Anything that happens to you in the seen can be healed from the unseen without a problem. No issues, no barring that, no pushing it back. The unseen forces can heal you by saying, be healed. That's it. God just has to say, be healed, and you're healed. I mean, you know you were created from nothing if you have any faith. Yeah. Yeah. So what were you when he created you into this? Nothing. So you think he's created this body of yours and he doesn't have the power to heal it just because the doctor says, oh, your disease is irreversible. Nah, it's a bunch of bullshit. Absolute garbage. I'm calling it garbage that it is. Anytime God wants to heal anyone from any disease, it's just a matter of him saying, be it, and it is. But the faith has to be there. He ain't just going to heal everyone. Oh, but he didn't get healed. He asked. No, he ain't going to just answer every moron who has no faith and is a hypocrite. He's going to heal the ones he chooses. He may not even heal me to try me, to wait till he knows for sure that I have faith. Yeah, then he'll heal me, or he may kill me. Yeah, because death is coming. Death is coming to you, and disease may precede death. Obviously, just like old age and weakness may precede your death, whether you believe or not. I mean, these things people have to reconcile because the reality is the way he's created it, and then he intervenes when he wishes. Like what's going on the earth today. I mean, God's intervention is about to come. And most people are unaware of that because they don't see any reality of what's going on around them. They just look at their fantastic mansions and homes and their bank accounts which contain toxic garbage which has no meaning to reality. There's no meaning to it in reality. So, the unseen will heal the seen. Any disease that you have, God can reverse it if He wishes. If He wishes. He's not going to reverse it just because you want it. You have to have faith. You're going to have patience. You're going to have perseverance. It just ain't going to come to you. The faith isn't like, oh, I say I believe and that's it. No. That stuff is different. Like Abraham, the example people make fun of this, that they put him in the fire and the fire did nothing to him. The fire did not burn him or scald him or kill him. He walked out of it. The story's there. Go read it. It's in the Torah. It's in the Bible. It's in the Quran. All God had to do was be coolness, O fire, and peace over Abraham. That's all He said. Game over. So you think God is not in hell? You think God does not exist in hell? Somehow hell is a third-party creation? Yeah. You think God cannot stand in hell? Yeah. He is, of course. He stands everywhere. He is where you are, what you are. So He is in hell as well. Hell doesn't harm Him, just like it doesn't harm His angels, who will be absolutely inflicting torment on those who reject God in this life and are hypocrites, reject His messengers, reject the hereafter, reject the angels, reject the books. He's going to cause absolute torment on them, whether you like it or not. I don't care. Oh, God can't do that. Really? Wait till you die. You'll see what He can do. You think this world is controlled by these morons that run the earth? These idiots that are in charge today in the scene, they have no power. They can't do anything. I mean, any power they have is worth nothing. Cannot overcome anything God has in place. Because this whole life, this world is a deception anyways. It's a hoax, literal hoax. We are hoaxed into fearing hoaxes. That's all we are. And it's all over the place. You don't have to point to one hoax or one deception. I mean, there are a myriad of hoaxes and deceptions all around us. So, these diseases, these catastrophes, there's shortage of this, there's shortage of that. Really? There's shortage of nothing. Nothing's in shortage. The shortage is in your heart. The shortage of faith. The shortage of actual perseverance to the truth, to righteousness. That's the shortage. The shortage ain't of things around you. God can make things out of nothing. He does all the time. The manna and salva that came over the sons of Israel in the wilderness when they roamed for 40 years because the morons didn't want to go and enter Jerusalem when they were commanded by God. They didn't want to go. Okay, 40 years you're going to run around, but He still fed them. He still sent them manna and salva. He still sent clouds over them and all the other stuff. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is the thing that does not matter to God, where you are, how you are. He will sustain who He wants, however He wants, through whatever means He desires. It's not your choice to be sustained or not. You can do things to destroy your sustenance, and then maybe you will destroy it, and you'll end up sitting around like a retard who has thrown away all that good was given to you because you're a spendthrift or you're a miser, or for any other reason that you're stupid to your own soul, which is what we are, most of us. We are wretched to our own souls. God isn't wretched to us. He is only wretched because we perpetrate and perpetuate wretchedness over ourselves and others through the disastrous knowledge of nothing that we have and pretend that that is the best thing since anybody has ever done. Like this generation thinks that they're the most advanced generation for all of mankind from the beginning to the end, while they cannot get to a tenth of what they were at the time of Noah and before. These guys will never get to a tenth of what Noah had and his generation before us. And the other generations after him have way more than us, lived way longer, had far better intellect, had far better power than us, than we will ever have. And these things, oh, this is the biggest ever financial disaster, or this is the biggest economic growth or economic... No. Every few hundred years, the whole of mankind is turned upside down, and the next generation starts. And then that's turned upside down. The next generation starts. You don't know what happened 150, 200 years ago. Don't tell me you do. You don't. I don't either. I just know God destroys us over and over, every generation, for our iniquities, for our wrongdoing, for our rejection of Him, for our rejection of His books and His messengers. Throughout history of mankind, this has been going on. These revolutions keep coming and going. Oh my God, it is these people, these satanic forces that are causing the harm. No, they are causing harm, but the actual harm comes from God when He puts everything upside down and He flips the board for you, and you're all destroyed. We're all destroyed. And then He shows you what you've done, and then you're put in the hellfire. The hell exists already. I used to wonder what this hell is, because I used to imagine this stupid, phony, baloney, heliocentric garbage model that I used to believe. No, that doesn't exist. It never existed. The hell is under your feet. The hell is under our earth that we stand over. It's right under us, yeah? It's burning down there. And I've done research myself, scientific. I used to work on drilling rigs at 20,000 feet under the surface, which is no more than 6 odd miles or 5, I don't know. I'm not sure how many it is, but not many miles, 5, 6 miles or 4 miles, whatever it is, for 20,000 feet. Temperatures go up to 300 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, yeah? That's way above the boiling point of water. So, how far do you think we've gone under the earth through all the machinery that we've had in the last 100 odd years? 30,000 feet. Nobody's gone below 30 odd thousand feet, which is around 8 miles or so, yeah? Nobody knows what's below that. And at that level, the heat is so much that nothing can penetrate it, and there's a barrier down there that no one can penetrate. So, the hell's down there. People are burning down there already. Yeah, the demons and the men who have rejected God, and the Satan, the damned piece of shit garbage Satan, is burning down there in the hellfire, and he's calling you. He calls you, you answer him. Yeah. All the power Satan has over you is to call you, and you answer to him. All the power I have over you is to call you to this side, and you reject me. This is the way of mankind. It's always been, because Satan shows you beauty of the world. Satan puts you in charge of the earth, you think. Puts you in places of power and wealth and beauty and gardens and springs on this earth. Yeah? And you fall for that garbage. And you think it's going to last forever. It ain't. Ain't going to last forever. Nothing here will last forever. Everything on the earth will be absolutely flattened. Yeah, just like the level earth it is, it will be actually that day will be completely flattened. Yeah, the day God wraps up this book of ours that we're in, this existence that we're in, He will wrap it up. It will be absolutely flat then. Yeah, it won't be even just level. It will be completely flattened. The mountains are going to blow away. Everything will become dust dry. And then we will rise. So imagine that the one who created you from nothing, you were dead and made you alive, and He's going to make you alive after your next death in this life. He can't heal diseases here, yeah, because cancer cannot be healed except by your chemical garbage processes that you destroy yourself with. Only that heals you. Yeah, it only heals you because they know what to do to try and fix you, and half of you don't survive that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying God will make you survive every disease. He's not. Some disease will come and get you and you will die because your term is going to come. Your term will come and you will die. The term will come and I will die. Accept that. This life is a joke. This life is a deception, delusion. It's hypnotic because it mesmerizes you, and that's the whole idea. He wants to see who will not be mesmerized and who will be mesmerized by this life and not be able to see what the reality is, which is the death. The death is the reality. And the other reality, which you can only see through the books of God and through those who have knowledge like me, the hereafter, which is the only reality that matters, the hereafter. This reality does not matter, except that you believe and do the righteousness and fear God. They will tell you, no, fear is a bad emotion, only love, no fear. Really? So you're telling me that I can only fear and not love, and I can only love and not fear. Really? Is that the truth? You're telling me I can only be happy and not sad, and I can only be sad and not happy. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, okay. I guess you guys know something that I don't, yeah? Good for you. Keep on going. Yeah, you're on your way to hell. Yeah, that's where you're going to end up with that kind of garbage attitude. We have all emotions, all possible emotions that we can have, we have. And we live with those emotions throughout our lives, and we know it. I mean, nobody has to tell us this. I don't have to tell you that you have multiple emotions at the same time, and you can have multiple emotions for the same thing. Not just different things, but the same thing, depending on the day and your mental attitude and your state of mind. So, just don't be too pissed off with the disease that's around you, and don't get too pissed off with what's going all around you, all a bunch of hoaxes and garbage, and the Satan calling you to follow him. He just wants you to follow him because he doesn't want anyone to go to the garden, because he knows he's been kicked out, and it's called jealousy and envy. He wants everyone to go to the hellfire, and this is the whole equation. That's it. And then you ask, why does God let him do that? That I've explained before. I'm not going to go over it again. And you can look into it. You can look into the books why. The Bible and the Torah have been massacred. The Quran is pretty clear what happened. We had a life before this. Understand that. We were created before this from sulfur, as I believe it, from beings of sulfur. The Satan is a being of fire, from fire. And when we were created, there's a ruckus that happened that caused all of this to occur. Cause and effect. It's all cause and effect. Look into your lives. It's all cause and effect. God works on cause and effect. But his cause and effect takes sometimes millennia to appear. Well, we want our cause and effect every second. No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, you can't. The last straw that breaks the camel's back is not what you need to focus on. Everybody wants to oh, that was the last straw. Yeah, no. You need to figure out the other 5 million straws that were on the camel's back that caused the last straw to break the back. Oh no, that's too, no, we can't do that. We just want to see the last pin that blows the bubble. We don't want to see who has blown this bubble into an enormous bubble of nothingness except air. We just, it's because the pin blew the bubble. That's the reason. The bubble was fine. The bubble was fine. It's this pin, the last straw, the pin that blow. I mean, people are crazy in the head. You have to understand the reality is far different than what you're presented in front of your eyes. And the only thing that you're presented are lies based on the rectangle or the box in front of you, spewing garbage every day, and especially for the last month and a half, absolute, complete, total nonsense and absolute lies about what's going on. Just the simple aspect that this disease, so-called coronavirus, which has been around for 50 years, by the way, it's just a new coronavirus, which they tell you, and they don't even prove anything. They show you cartoons and CGIs of this so-called virus. Yeah, this thing has so far killed about 100,000 people around the world. I'm not even sure it's 100,000. I'm just giving. I don't even look at the numbers, but I know it's not much more or less than 100,000. It's about that. Yeah. So far in the United States, 18 million or 17 million people have lost their livelihood. So does this lockdown, which destroys your ability to live your lives in a quote unquote normal fashion, I say quote unquote, but nothing is normal here, yeah? Is it justified to do that because 100,000 people have died in 3-4 months of this so-called disease? Does that make any sense? Yeah, I'm not going into details. You can look at many other people who are talking about it, but this fundamental fact should tell you there's something wrong. There's something is not right here. There's something else going on. You figure it out for yourself. I will figure it out for myself. But the only thing you need to know is something else is going on. This is not what they're telling you. Absolutely. And then the fact that everybody needs to get tested. They have told you there's no cure. Why in God's name are you getting tested? Why in God's name are you getting tested when they, the morons that are testing you, are telling you there's no healing cure that we have for this disease? Simple question. You must have an answer for that, right? It's all of course logical to test everyone and then tell them you have it or you don't, and whether you have it or you don't, we can't do anything about it. But we're going to put billions and billions of dollars into testing every moron walking the earth. What a bunch of fools. Anyway, so that was all I want to talk about today, and maybe I'll come back and maybe I won't. So till then, peace.